Hello, everybody. This is White Wolf, and we are going live. So feel free to share out. Feel free to book a private session as well. And also tonight, I wanted to talk about be your own master, understanding that everything is a teaching, everything is a learning curve. And if we don't channel our own thoughts, if we don't channel our own wisdom, if we don't align ourselves and vibrate at that specific frequency of who we really are, and we can get wisdom from coaches and teachers and relationships and friendships, and all of that's all well and good. But when we are not allowed to even think for ourselves, when we're always giving our power away to a certain individual, or we're just listening to someone while we're meditating in the morning so much to the point where it sounds like a broken record, and it just goes on and on and on and on. So I want you to understand that being your own master is staying in your lane and staying within your own journey, vibrating at your own frequency, and integrating the stuff inside of you, and understanding that looking at the world from a different lens of perception will allow you to see more, and will allow you to say that I am on my own journey, and I don't need anybody to tell me who I am. Because at the end of the day, nobody knows yourself better than you know yourself. Now, I'm not saying that not to listen to reason. I'm not saying to not listen to truth. I'm not saying to resist the flow of wisdom. But when our wisdom is restricted and condensed, and we have some master tell us that we're only going to reach a certain ceiling, and a teacher or a coach that we're only going to reach a certain ceiling and we can't get past them or outgrow them, just know that you're always outgrowing everything, everybody, and also everything within your life. And it's becoming integrated because we outgrow things, we mature, we have more wisdom, there's more charge, there's more polarity to the way that we're carrying ourselves, and we're ushering into a new stage of leadership and honing our skills and understanding that our modality, our healing modalities, are essential. Focus on your psychic abilities and see what good they can do for you. Focus on meditating and manifesting your entire reality in a meditative state. Stay in your own lane, and don't let anyone tell you that you're not profoundly gifted and that you're not profoundly anointed, or that you can't breach a certain wall or a ceiling. That is a lie that we're sold a lot in spirituality. And I have nothing against people wanting to make money, wanting to coach, wanting to host retreats and stuff like that. But sometimes we outgrow our teachers. Sometimes we outgrow our relationships. Sometimes we outgrow what we are, and we change and we evolve into something else. There's always an evolution of the soul, because we're tapping into our soul wisdom, our soul love, and our soul craft, which turns into our meditative awareness, which allows us to always evolve and go with the current and go with the flow and stay with what's relevant and what's present within our lives. And I think that's what's important. Stay relevant, stay present, and think for yourself. Act for yourself. Live for yourself so that one day you can live for others and be a source of wisdom, be your own master. Only I see masters. So let's not allow ourselves to be brainwashed into thinking that we cannot be our own ascended master, that we can be the master that's in search of this self-discovery, that wants to emulate the self, accept the self, and learn how to control the self and implement the self's wisdom, and allow ourselves to see everything as God source energy, to see everything as God, to see our brothers and sisters as God. And let's not give our power away to the negativity and the disrespect. Let's start respecting ourselves. Let's respect our brothers and sisters. Let's honor that everybody has a resonance, and everybody has a truth, and everybody has a vibratory nature. So everybody is designed perfectly and miraculously, and we're all anointed in so many different ways. There are some people that can shoot lasers out of their eyes. There are some people that can use telekinesis and move things with their mind. There are people who can smell things in a greater way that we can't. Because if you have a heightened sense of smell, if I was like smoking a cigar on my live, you would be able to smell that. So think about how your gift is the gift that brings more giving. Know that the amount that you give is the amount that is more received, and that you're able to be more receptive and to be able to understand truth at a greater standpoint. Always make a statement. Always take the initiative to always understand to encourage our brothers and sisters instead of discourage our brothers and sisters. And understanding this, and I hope you guys can hear me very well. I don't know if I have the volume turned up or turned down. I hope you guys can hear me. So I'm glad that some of you are commenting and you can hear me. So allow yourself to be the magician of your life. Allow yourself to breathe that magic. Allow yourself to see the goals that you want to see and allow the vision to become who you really are. So understanding that when we become our own master, we allow ourselves to see if something is more in alignment with ourselves, if something is breathing life within our space, or if it's breathing death. Because if we keep looking at shadows within everybody else, that means we haven't integrated the world within ourselves. We haven't healed the world within ourselves. And for the past 2 days, I've been going through a lot of healing and implementing, and also I've been cutting down 2 trees, which have been very spiritual, because everything you do is a lesson. Everything you do is an experience of consciousness. Everything you go through within your life is you trying to become the master and recognize the master within yourself. So if anyone tells you that you have to have a coach, now I'm not saying to have a coach for a while or a teacher for a good while, that's fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, think for yourself, act for yourself, meditate upon the self's wisdom. Don't allow yourself to be swayed. Own your truth and stand in it, and use your authority to implement that truth and embody that truth, embody that source of creation. So you will always migrate where you are needed, and you will always be placed where you are needed. You are never left out of this cosmic game, my friends. You're never left out. You're never late for the bus. You're never down or out. You're never down for the count. So you have to understand that being your own master means that you're going to have to step on a lot of toes. You're going to have to say no to a lot of people. You're also just going to have to use discernment to see what is right for you. And I don't like it when I see people being misled or feeling like they have to have this teacher or have to have this coach, or they listen to one person all the time and they allow that truth to just be the one thing that they always listen to. And instead, sometimes in my journey, I had to wake up in the morning and meditate upon White Wolf. I had to meditate upon my own thoughts, about my own inability to deal with my triggers or my emotions or my sensitivity. Because I remember there was times in the morning that I would wake up and I would turn on a meditation or I would meditate and I'd cry every day. But it wasn't tears of sadness. It was tears of blood, sweat, and tears of integration, resurrection, death, and then a brand new life. That's what you have to understand, is that when you're becoming your own master, you're having a brand new life. In a sense, you get a clean slate. In a sense, you get a redo. You get a do-over. So my message tonight, because I heard a message and I didn't resonate with it, but it almost felt like it was just inauthentic. Because when we allow our ego to cling on to things, to cling on to everything, onto people, and we're so attached to all these things that are so temporary, it doesn't allow us to see the freedom that is here for us, the beauty that is here for us, and it doesn't allow us to focus our eyes on the sun. The sun is the representation of your success and of your happiness and your abundance, and creating that sense of community with your leadership, your integrity, and your dedication to your vibration. So when I do these messages, they're just kind of impromptus, and I feel led to do them, or I would not do them. You know, when I don't feel like I need to go live, I don't go live. If I don't feel like I have to really do any of my spiritual work, I won't do my spiritual work. If God Source Energy tells me not to wear a hat on this live feed, I will do that. If God Source Energy tells me to go pray for someone or give them a prophetic word, I will go do that. But it's just using that discernment and see what's right for you, and just follow what God wants you to do with that obedience, because you are a prophet of this growing nature of ascension. You're separating yourself from humanity so that you can be a part of this ascension as a starseed, as an earth angel. There are a lot of people that are humans, but they're not exactly humans. So a lot of you can have like a leopard energy, or you guys can have like a Arcturian type of energy because you're resonating in your star seed frequency because you're not from this earth. So we allow ourselves to not be swayed, and we understand that everything is just, in a sense, trying to teach us, trying to bring us back to love, trying to nurture us, and to heal the poverty, heal the suffering, and to see that that is not our identity. That is not who we are as a soul progression. So when we allow the flow of energy, the flow and the anointing of God's source energy to be on our life, nothing can cancel that out. Because you becoming your own master means that you're becoming your own source of creation, becoming an individuated creation, and allowing yourself to flow with the energy and go with the current and stay present and relevant with what needs to be said, what needs to be learned, and also what you need to relay. Because I don't for a second want to ever get on here and tell you what you want to hear, because that's disingenuous and it's insincere. I want to tell people what they need to hear instead of just saying stuff with my ego. I'm saying stuff with my higher self. And what that means is that I'm going from my own truth. I'm going from my own source of creation. I'm going from the source of all things that's being channeled to you, so that there is no filter, there's no cap, there's no ceiling. So there's no egoic mind, there's no mind. It is just God relaying God back to you, and you're seeing God within yourself while you're hearing this, and it feels good and it feels abundant. And then you're recognizing that within me, and I recognize that within you. I see the divinity within you. So I think when we get to the point where people are just trying to prop themselves up instead of wanting to be sincere and wanting to be genuine and wanting to be honest with people and wanting to just really help people, at the end of the day, that's all I've ever wanted to do with my gifting. I used to, in the beginning, I wanted to reach people like by the thousands and do all these things. And then I realized that none of that really mattered, because I was always reaching people. People from all over the world that I've touched their lives with my messages, and I've helped them with readings and healings and activations and the 500 videos that I've done over these years and almost went live every day because I was led to do that. That was my mastery. And seeing myself, channel like a teenager spiritually like 3 years ago, you'd probably been like, oh my God, who's that guy? Because we all grow and we all change. And, I used to have a little salt and a little bit of vinegar, but now I don't have that anymore, and I'm kind of thankful that I don't. But that was me channeling my source of creation at that said time. So we all change, we all migrate, and we all fluctuate within our energy, and it does not mean that it's always going to be the same. It doesn't mean that it's always going to be the same. Everything is temporary. So when we understand that we have to become adaptable to energy, and allows us to be masterful by adapting, by fluctuating, by just going with the flow and going with the current and going with the push and the pull, and just showing up to your life as if you're meant to be there, as if your life depended on it. I know that sounds very extreme, but sometimes you have to go a little bit extreme. Sometimes you have to be a little spontaneous, and you have to find the excitement in everything before the excitement hits, before that hit of enlightenment hits, So I think being your own master means that you're staying in your own lane, and the greatest wisdom that I ever got was from my own healing, and we can get appointments, we can go to retreats, we can go do all of these things, but at the end of the day, you have to figure out what is good for you, what is true for you, and what is going to help you become more of who you are. And you're not going to get that from a book. You're not going to get that from a master. You're not even going to get that from me. But you have to get it from God's source energy, and you have to open your heart and to allow God to come in, and then just allow yourself to let go of everything that does not make you who you are, and let go of worry, doubt, all of the people in your reality that don't fit, and the people, places, and things, and the manifestations. You have to let all of that go, and you just have to give yourself to God. At the end of the day, if you just give yourself to God's source energy, and I know I say God a lot because it really triggers people, because they hear that word and they're like, oh, that's too much. But I say that because it's a beautiful word. Jesus is a beautiful word. Mary Magdalene is a beautiful name. And those are beautiful people. Joan of Arc, Notre Dame. They all had great giftings. And just imagine if they were in this day and age, they would really make a big impact. And they would not, and Joan of Arc would not be burned at the stake, and Notre Dame wouldn't have lost his shit. And Jesus would have not been put on the cross in this day and age. They would be respected and revered and saw for who they were in their aura. And I know that's a pretty big statement, but it's just leaving everything all on the table at the end of the day. Leaving everything all on the table and laying it all out on the line and just rolling the dice and seeing where it lands. And just for the sake of authenticity and the sake of truth, and just not give a fuck anymore, because that's what light workers should be doing, is that follow your own leadership, follow your own resonance, your own abundance, your own joy. If you like listening to me, that's all well and great, but at the end of the day, I'm just a Joe Schmo, just like anybody else. I'm just a guy on here giving a message and about to do a meditation. I'm not anyone special. I'm not above anybody. And I just wanted to really be real and authentic and kind of be plain Jane tonight, because I talk in a lot of language that's kind of uppity and like high frequency. And sometimes I say stuff and people are like, what the hell did you just say? Well, I can't help that sometimes. So we're all sent here for a purpose. We're all here to fulfill our purposeful purpose. And we all have a purpose because we exist. And if we exist, we have the ability to love. And if we have the ability to love, we have the ability to show compassion, unconditionality, and respect. We have that ability to help people find that aqua river flow of God's source energy. We have that ability. And it's very beautiful, and it's very profound, and it's very amazing that we get to do this right here, right now, as I'm speaking to you through this phone. The interconnectedness of this universe and what it's becoming is so beautiful, and it outweighs all of the opposition, all of the negativity, all of the distortions, and all of the darkness that's over there. All of the beauty, the miraculousness, the supernatural of God. I've had a woman tell me a story that she was almost in a car wreck, and that the crash was averted, and she almost like passed out, and she knew she was about to hit this like semi and stuff. She knew she was about to hit this and get into a crash, and then suddenly she's unconscious and the car is in a completely different place. Now, there are people who are able to manifest money at great speeds. They walk out of their car and then they come back to their car and there's $50,000 there. We can't put a limitation on the divine. We cannot put a limitation on ourselves. Because once we get past the limitation, we become limitless and infinite, and we become the infinity signature. So, in life, we have to feel as if we're not a minute early and we're not a second late, but we are right on time. Just know you're right on time. You're right on schedule. You're right where you need to be. You were never misplaced. You were never forgotten. You were never... It doesn't matter what we went through in our past or even our past lives, but it matters about this lifetime, right here, right now. It's about the now. It's about the forever now, the ever-changing present moment. And then that allows us to be relevant, that allows us to be true to ourselves, and allows us to be truthful to others. Because it's the service to others that grants us the greatest service to ourselves. You know, and service to others does not mean conducting retreats or going to speak at a conference or conducting a webinar. It could mean just cooking your family a nice hot meal. It could be just helping your friend move out of their apartment. It could be just giving that prophetic word to that neighbor. It could be just healing, taking a day for yourself to heal until you're ready to be of service to others. Because my entire life, I have always been overlooked. I have always had people underestimate me. I've always been underwritten and undersold. And I'm here to say that if you felt that way, just know that just because someone or the world has a perception of you does not mean that that is the actual truth. That does not mean that that is what it is. Because the chosen are always overlooked, underwritten, undersold. The chosen always have the craziest journey, the wildest ride, the integration, the healing, the expansion, the roller coaster, the peak and the valleys, and the ups and the downs. But that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's about the peaks and valleys. It's about the ups and the downs. And I usually don't like to say that, but there are always hidden gems in everything about your life, in everything that we go through, in every hoop, in every challenge, with every tribulation, with everything that we go through within our lives. There is always a hidden gem. There's always something to be expanded upon. And there's always a lesson. There's always something very cryptic within our journey that allows us to be in the search of it all. And it's about the seeking impulse, and it's about the search, and it's just aligning your truth and aligning your resonance, and not allowing anyone to be your master, but to allow yourself to be the ascended master within. So if you don't get anything from my message tonight, just know you're here to be the ascended master in human form. That's what you're here to be. And you're not here to be someone else's prophet, but you are the prophet of the Most High. You're the prophet of God's source energy. You're the prophet of consciousness. And you're here to have the self-discovery of the ascended master within. Because when we die a metaphysical death and have a resurrection and a reborn and a do-over, then the rest is up to us to allow it to be as real as it can be, to make it a reality. So that was my message for the night, but we're going to do a meditation. So if you want to stay tuned for this meditation, if you have something else to do, that's okay too. And also, I wanted to say something tonight that I'm not doing the $50 special, but I will work within your budget. I heard something that Spirit told me. I will work within your budget. So if you would like a reading or a healing or an activation or anything like that, I have Cashapp and PayPal and things of that nature. So I'm just going to leave that up for discussion. So just whatever fits within your budget. So, but let's do a meditation. Let's allow this meditation to be powerful. Let's allow this meditation to see our mastery and to hone our psychic abilities. So, if everybody can hear me, I hope that the microphone is good on my headphones. So, now with this meditation, you can focus on an object. You can lay down. You can do whatever you want. Allow it to be free-flowing. Allow it to be existential and internal ecstasy. And allow yourself to be the ascended master within. Allow yourself to lead with charge. Allow yourself to change the polarity of what you are, to change how relevant you are, to change the present moment, and to know that you can stand firm within your authority, and to know that we're not here to give our power away to masters. We are not here to give our power away to distortion. We're not here to give our power away to illusions into people, places, and things, because they are just reflections and appearances. And we're here to make our own way. We're here to be consecrated in our own wisdom, to stand firm in it, to use that as a tool to emulate this truth and to allow the aura to not be penetrated. So everybody take a deep breath. Exhale. And allow yourself to meditate your entire reality in a meditative state. Allow yourself to see the psychic abilities that are present and how we can change them and shift them into healing modalities. That we do not have an opinion of right or wrong, but we just have an objective truth instead of subjective truth. Instead of being reactive, we allow ourselves to be proactive. We all have God source energy inside of all of us. And if we allow ourselves to see what's inside of you and what's inside of me and what's inside of the whole universe, we can allow ourselves to be the new gods of this golden age. Take a deep breath. Exhale. You were sent here for self-discovery. You were sent here for self-realization. You were here to think for yourself for the very first time. Don't let any master tell you what to think, or how to feel, or how to even meditate, or use your healing modality. You use your uniqueness, your distinct spiritual personality, the identification of God's source energy, in such a way that it is emphatic, epic, and honest and dignified. And let's show respect, kindness, consideration, and be unconditional to every human being on this planet. And let's not have attachments. Let's not have the feeling of possessing people, places, or things. That it is not the ego, but it is just God recognizing itself. It's God. It's giving yourself to God. It's allowing the divine to not have a limitation. It's allowing the divine to have harmony. It's allowing the divine to flow through you. It's allowing your life to teach you, to give you lessons, to give you circumstances, to give you periods of integration, peaks and valleys, highs and lows, to understand that it is the story of your ascension. It is the ascended master, knowing that it attracted this to itself, and that you are that magnetic, electromagnetic, kinetic source energy. And don't focus on what is. Focus on what it could be more. That will add more to your life if you focus on what it could be more. Focus on bringing community, bringing people together, allowing people to empower themselves so that they can get their empowerment from the heavens. And then we're able to allow people to go by their own truth, by their own source of creation. That they don't have to draw energy from anyone, but we can draw energy from our own source of creation. So that we can flow with the oneness that is present, and that we can be one with it. And we can be the one, infinite source of creation. We can be that oracle of love, light, and wisdom that wants to know the love, the light, and the wisdom that it can emanate from this timeline, from this time period, from this lifetime. Allow yourself to be that sacred flame. Allow that flame to burn bright so that we can all become the light. So that we're not leading by sight, but we're leading by faith. We're leading with our heart and not our mind. But we're allowing ourselves to be the vessel that encompasses the higher self. And we allow ourselves to be the truth, to be the love, to be understanding, and to be free, and have the willingness to be free will. That we're opening ancient gates that have been closed for so long, breaking away from tradition, breaking away from religion, and breaking away from society trying to tell us how to feel, how to think, how to be, and how to manifest. Or even masters telling us how to manifest and how to teach and how to breathe life within our space. Because we are the ones that are not choosing death. So thank you all for that meditation. The meditation has come to a close. I appreciate all of your likes and all of your comments and stuff like that. Thank you guys so much for this meditation and also for this message. Also, I wanted to make an announcement that I can work within your budget. If you want a reading or a healing or an activation or cards pulled for you or anything like that, just know that I'm not doing the $50 special, but I will work within your budget. And we'll have to just discuss that. You can message me on TikTok and things of that nature and you're welcome. You're welcome. So I want to thank you all for attending this live feed, and also just know that being our own master means that we're finding our own way and finding our own gateway that allows us to become the Stargate, which allows us to seek the ascended master within our own consciousness. So thank you guys so much for this live feed. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that a lot of you will just tap into being your own master. And one last time, White Wolf, the Oracle of Love, Light, and Wisdom on YouTube, Instagram, whitewolf4741, BitChute, White Wolf, the Oracle 23, _@, I believe. And also, if you want a reading or a healing, just message me. I'll work within your budget. So I'm going to leave that out on the table, and that's just up for anybody who would like any service. So thank you guys so much. This is White Wolf. Thank you. God bless, and namaste.